Welcome to another episode of Home Away from Home. I'm Alison Kenworthy, and today we're soaking up the sun in one of the most exclusive and breathtaking places in the Caribbean. Round Hill Hotel and Villas in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Nestled on a secluded 100-acre peninsula, Round Hill is a retreat where timeless elegance meets unrivaled privacy. Just a short drive from the international airport, it's the perfect combination of convenience and paradise. We're here to discover why Round Hill has become the ultimate home away from home for so many, including heads of state, Hollywood elite, and the world's most legendary bon vivants. Legends like John F. Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy, actors Paul Newman and Clark Gable, and recent guests are just as illustrious, but shh, we can't tell you who they are. This Jamaican jewel is renowned for its impeccable service and beautiful accommodations. From Ralph Lauren's decorating touches throughout the hotel to the pristine beaches and serene surroundings, every corner of this resort whispers luxury and comfort. And today we're sitting down with the hotel's beloved Josef Forsmeyer, who has been the managing director here for decades. Josef's dedication has helped shape Round Hill into the iconic haven it is today. So come with us as we dive deeper into the world of Round Hill, from its storied past to its current allure, and discover why this extraordinary resort is truly a home away from home for so many. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Hello, Josef.
Hello, welcome to the beautiful Cottage 23.
Thank you.
At Round Hill.
We're so happy to be here. Come in, come in.
Please follow me. This is one of our wonderful 3-bedroom signature villas that represent the best of Round Hill. You know, open air living, beautiful designs, gorgeous views.
What can you tell us about this home, Josef?
Well, this is, as I mentioned, a perfect example of what Round Hill represents. You know, where a little bit less is more, so we try to celebrate the best of Jamaica. This goes back to the early 1950s, you know, when people with means wanted to get away, you know, into the tropics, and they wanted to live an open, airy, carefree life. And this is why Round Hill was founded by John Pringle. We are sitting on the western slope, so we have a beautiful view towards the west and the sunsets. We are very well protected from weather, hence all our outdoors are basically furnished with indoor living.
Well, look at this, it's just... This looks sort
absolutely,
of, that's the only
This is the only
protection.
kind of protection, let's say, from heavy winds or rain. But then since we are on the western slope, everything moves east to west, and therefore we are well protected. And our founder always said, you know, for my friends who are wealthy and have everything, what they think they don't have is to be able to live in an outdoor setting with indoor furnishings. And this is truly sort of the strengths of Jamaica. When you view this, it really represents that philosophy, and it hasn't changed over the last 70 years. It has been enhanced, it has been improved on. Obviously, we made it relevant to the latest and the newest and the modern sensibilities. But on the other hand, you know, we try to celebrate that style that is just timeless.
Well, and everything looks so comfortable.
It is.
Like you can really just come and
it's
relax.
your home.
Yeah.
It's your home. And our owners actually who own these villas and who use them themselves, but when they're not here, they are available for paying
rent.
guests to rent. They are very proud to share their home with them.
Well, and I love all of the colors of the blues and the whites, and it really just sort of so seamlessly flows from indoors all the way to the sea, which you have a perfect view
You
of.
just said it. I mean, one of the philosophical sort of standards at Round Hill is we don't want to overwhelm you with decor.
Right.
I mean, the idea is to let the outdoor be the star and let the beautiful gardens be the star, and just make sure that you can sort of communicate with that outdoors as easily as possible.
Okay, before we see the bedrooms, we have to quickly see the outside. Take us out here and look at this pool.
Yes, you have a beautiful pool that gives you, as you know, you're very close to the beach from here. I mean, you're literally just 2 minutes sort of across on the water, and you get these gorgeous views. So that provides you with a little bit of motion. You know, having a little waterfall always helps, and then you can be totally private here, or you come down and join the crowd on the beach or in the restaurant or in the bar. So, you know, we combine both elements where it gives you privacy but at the same time, you can join in the party.
And what's so wonderful about Cottage 23 in particular is that it's so close to the main house that you're just steps away. So you have your breakfast up here, and then you go down there for the tea time at 4 or the beach or dinner, and then you just walk right up to your house. And if you're a little farther, then you just take the golf cart, which we'll do later.
Yes, absolutely. So everything was designed in a way to be close together, yet give you the privacy, but also make you feel that you are part of a whole area, so you're not ever completely away from everything.
And I'm sure that these homes have been updated and modernized in many ways, but the integrity of these homes has been kept since when they were built. Like, you can tell the old floor, the black and white floor, that hasn't been touched.
And whenever it has been touched, it has been redone exactly with the same material to make them better, but still represent the same philosophy. And yes, you can see the shingle, the wood shingle roofs, the white walls. I mean, that's a standard at Roundhill that everybody has to maintain. So therefore we have an ability to really keep the same architectural language and keep the same style, and therefore become iconic in many ways. And that's what guests expected, what many of our repeat guests expect as well.
So you have all of this lush greenery everywhere, but then you have these beautiful, is this bougainvillea?
Bougainvillea, yes. And this is a perfect time of year. I mean, in the winter season when it's drier, bougainvillea is blooming everywhere, and there's riotous colors. I mean, if you look up on the hill, there's your walls of purple bougainvillea all the way around us, and then with your birds and the colors and yet still the lush greenery as well. You know, it really sort of takes you away from wherever you're coming from and puts you into a paradise.
You do. You feel like you're almost living in the jungle, except you have amenities.
Yes. Welcome to the master bedroom in Cottage 23, which very much expresses the taste of the owner, who in turn fell in love with Roundhill and wants to bring the best out. So we have some beautiful sort of old English commodes on either side of the bed. We have lovely, lovely Jamaican art on the wall, and we really sort of celebrate that comfort that you can find in an old Jamaican home. Yet with all the modern inconveniences, from air condition to be able to lock up. But we find that especially during the winter season, that many of our guests just wish to open it all up and have it open.
It's so cool in here, actually.
Yes.
I was warm outside, but just coming in here with the windows open, you get this beautiful cross breeze.
That's the design of the 50s as well. Before air conditioners, you know, there was
no air
people only traveled to the Caribbean in the winter season, so there was always much drier, much cooler, and therefore the louver design still very much is in effect everywhere. And nowadays we just close it, or we have windows over the louvers in order to keep the air condition cool in the bedrooms. Again, you celebrate the indoor-outdoor living. You know, you have lots of privacy around with very, very well-designed gardens that shield you completely from any prying eyes, and you don't have to worry about it. And it's funny, in the beginning sometimes takes a little getting used to sort of to do an outdoor shower. But I mean, I always say, you know, there's no reason for anybody to become a peeping Tom here, you know. Feel free and you know, and be relaxed, and that everybody gets into that groove.
I just love the sounds of nature. You hear all of these birds just while you're in your bathroom.
Absolutely. So welcome now into our dining area, and the dining room is where the ladies of the house spoil and pamper you. They serve you a beautiful breakfast every morning, you know, celebrating again the best of Jamaican fresh fruits and vegetables, and ackee and saltfish, which is one of our great sort of national dishes, which is a wonderful sort of combination of fruits and protein in the morning. It's getting a little used to for the first time, but once you have tasted it, you want to have it all the time.
Well, I had a fresh fruit plate this morning, and there was beautiful papaya and melons, and there was something local. He said it was almost like an apple.
It's a star apple, actually.
Yes.
And it's similar to a custard apple, but it is one of those unique fruits of Jamaica, and we try to again give you the best and ripest and freshest fruit possible, because again, it's something that you don't find at home.
Right.
Certainly, even if you buy papaya in a supermarket, it tastes nothing like in Jamaica, because it ripens perfectly here, and we only buy the best and ripest fruits.
Well, I'm on the hunt for one of your perfect mangoes.
Oh, I will have one for you. Okay. Don't worry. They are just coming into season now, and once the mangoes are in, you can't stop eating them. They're absolutely perfect.
Well, one of the things I know about Round Hill, which is so wonderful, is that you support so many local farmers here.
That's, again, part of our philosophy that goes back to our beginning. I mean, we are a member of our community. Our community supports us, and we support our community, be it in terms of the staff that works here. Many of them are in second and third generation, become family.
Sure.
And the same with our farmers and our providers of everything from fruits and vegetables, which we only buy locally. We do not import fruits or vegetables, unless you have to have blueberries or raspberries or American apples.
But who wants that when you can have
Exactly.
your Jamaican fruit?
And you're so right. It happens very rarely that somebody even asks for it, because you have all the other opportunities to taste the best and freshest. Well,
this is romantic.
Well, this is our hideaway. This is a great spot for honeymooners and anybody who wants to just sort of hide away in Cottage 23 and be completely private, yet be amongst everyone, because just down below there is your beach. Yet
but you would never know it.
You
You
would
can't
never
hear
know it.
anything.
You won't. And that is the beauty of Round Hill again. I mean, you have your privacy, but you can also be a few steps away from the beach. And we have a little walkway, actually, a few stepping stones, which I'll show you, that take us right down to the beach.
We live in New York City, and what's so amazing about this is you get on the flight, and in 4 hours, you're here, and you feel like you're halfway around the world.
It's true, and I mean that's one of the things one of our owners, Ralph Lauren, always said. You can get on a plane, you travel 3.5, 4 hours, and then you are in a completely different cultural environment, and yet you can still speak English.
Right.
So you have done a real sort of transformation. So you can now really get into your holidays. I mean, many flights leave the Northeast early in the morning, and you're basically
on the
here.
beach at noon?
Yep, absolutely. That's
With a drink.
Very possible. Again, whimsical Jamaican art, beautiful details of the traditional furnishings that have been around in many of the houses, and they have been reused really well here. And so it's either open or you have your air condition if that's what you prefer, and then you can just sit here and read and have a wonderful time.
Hi, Richard. Nice to meet you.
Richard does the most
First-time
amazing
Jamaica
stuff with his basket weaves, and I mean he's known as he supplies the ladies on Fifth Avenue.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Well, give me some things to take back, and I'll hand it out to all the ladies in New York. Tell us about this. You made this.
Yeah, they made it. It's a pin box. It's made with the Jippy Joppy straw. And these one make with the palm leaf and the royal palm.
And you do all of this work?
I do the basket and our lady do the embroidery.
Oh my gosh.
I do all these ones here.
And how long does something like this take you to make?
It takes you 2.5 days to make something like
Are
this.
you serious?
Yeah, you could make this bread basket like 2 in 1 day.
Wow.
Like these ones here.
And these are
These are bread baskets, and you call this placemats.
Placemats,
you
yeah.
use it for hot
Sure.
plate on the table.
but this is the raw material
And
right
this is
here?
the raw material right here. This is from the royal palm, and the brown one is from the coconut palm.
This is beautiful.
And
How did you get this incredible skill, Richard?
I learned it when I was 10 years old, 1974. A cousin of mine. I taught my mother.
You did?
Yes, everyone says your mother taught you, and I said no, I taught my mother. And then I came here at Round Hill 2005 and I met Mr. Fatmaya. He is great to me.
A legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Seems like it. All right, so there are 27 villas here, and we are on John Pringle Way. Is that right?
John Pringle Drive. He's
John
our
Pr-
founder.
Tell us
And,
more about him.
John Pringle is the son of a well-established old Jamaican family. The Lissers and the Pringles that came here in the 19th century, and the Lissers even in the 18th century. Through his mother, Carmen, he was sort of exposed to the first visitors to the island because his mother, Carmen, had a guest house in Montego Bay called Sunset Lodge. And so she welcomed already the Astors and the Vanderbilts and all the Whitneys and all the sort of wealthy New Yorkers and European royalty as well, because that's the beginning of Jamaica's tourism. In the late 40s, after the Second World War, is when sort of persons started to come to Jamaica and spend the winters here. And so when he met all these guests at his mother's guest house, they expressed the desire to be a little bit more comfortable and be in a little slightly more luxurious setting. So he was married to a beautiful, beautiful fashion model called Liz, who had just been on the cover of Vogue and Time magazine at the same time. And she was originally Canadian and fell in love with him. And she had a lot of cash on her because she had just done a big photo shoot. And so he approached Lord Munson to sell him 100 acres of the actual Round Hill estate with the Round Hill on it and the beautiful beach, so he could found Round Hill Hotel and Villas. And that's what he did. It used to be a coconut and a pineapple plantation. Hence our pineapple is our logo.
And a sign of hospitality.
And hospitality, fertility and wealth. Welcome to Cottage 15. This is owned by a very, very special family from Canada who have fallen in love with Jamaica many years ago. They are best friends also with Chris Blackwell, one of our icons in the movie and fashion and music industry. He is the founder of Island Records, and
yes!
Bob Marley was his big claim to fame. Cottage 15 has one of the most magnificent views on the property, and look at
Behind this door?
What happens?
Oh,
there you are
gosh.
with your western view all the way down the coast with your most magnificent sunsets as well.
This is spectacular. You have the pool, and then you have the water, and you can hardly tell there's a difference in color.
Absolutely. This is our Round Hill Bay with our Round Hill Reef, where we have a beautiful reef garden as well, where we are rejuvenating actually the coral on it. We have an environmental project on it. We are very proud of that.
So the green and the white is signature.
Signature Round Hill, and this is Josef Frank, a well-known Austrian designer who left Austria in the 30s and went to Sweden and then set up his company there, and reflects very much sort of that tropical pattern that we find all over. We have it also in the lobby, we have it in the pineapple room as well, and it's something that we like to use. It's great quality, and it also reflects the period when Round Hill actually was founded.
Well, and it's such a nice pop of color, and you can never go wrong with mixing stripes
Absolutely.
and pattern.
And patterns, absolutely.
And pattern. Oh, and look who we have here. This book is around the hotel quite a few times.
So again, beautiful Jamaican art. I mean, this is Michael Lester, who is a well-known Polish artist that came here in the 50s and then painted in Jamaica, and he was the first one actually that painted Jamaican scenes.
Oh, wow.
And so therefore, these are very valuable. He is probably one of our most well-established artists now.
It's gorgeous.
He's now long gone, unfortunately, but Michael Lesters are all over this beautiful cottage.
More indoor-outdoor living.
Again, indoor-outdoor living. This one also has a small pool, a little plunge pool as well, aside from the large pool.
Oh my gosh.
You have a small little extra pool.
You can swim, you can lounge, you can work
Absolutely,
out, you've got your
absolutely,
weights.
Yeah. And again, your bougainvillea, you know. And this is an interesting bougainvillea type. It's called surprise, because you never know what color. It comes either in white or hot pink. They call it surprise bougainvillea, and we have it all over. And sometimes it's just pink, sometimes you have these white sort of bursts in between. So
It's beautiful. This villa has not only one, but two pools.
we have some villas that have 3 private pools.
Oh, really?
So some, obviously one main pool and then small secondary and tertiary pools, so that nobody feels left out. You know, whenever you're together as a group of family or friends, people can sort of.
But you can have your private time too.
Do the first thing in the morning. You just sit in there, look down the coast, and refresh yourself.
So the final bedroom, but
Yes.
the crown jewel.
Yeah, this is the master bedroom.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine
You're waking up
here
to
in
this?
the morning?
Yeah.
So this is another Josef Frank print from Austria. And
Sweden, actually,
and
now.
Sweden.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. I love the colors. If you can't tell, I dressed for the villas that I thought I might see today.
Yeah.
I wore all white
yeah.
so that I didn't clash with anything in the
But
in
you
the
see,
homes.
it always works.
It does.
It always works. I mean, again, we don't try to impress you necessarily, but we give you pops of color that carry your eye out into the garden.
Well, and it's just
connect
like
you.
understated
Absolutely,
elegance.
Absolutely.
All right, so Josef, we're entering your cocktail bar, and this was reimagined by Ralph Lauren.
Yes, yes, absolutely. He has been an incredible influencer for all of us. I mean, he fell in love with Round Hill in the 1980s, bought a villa here, his first villa, bought another villa in the 90s, and has helped us to basically bring out the best in what Round Hill represents. And you know, Ralph Lauren's style is just timeless. It's incredibly impeccable. It always sort of touches you and makes you feel comfortable.
And in this space, you have old photos of lots of iconic people who have visited Round Hill. Who is this?
Well, there you have, for instance, Zsa Zsa Gabor with Sir Bruce Tuck and Sir Anthony Norman. He was to be the head of the Bank of England. He owned a cottage here, and so did Sir Bruce Tuck, and she was one of their house guests playing roulette in the 1950s during one of the parties at Round Hill.
If these walls could talk,
If they
right,
could talk.
Josef?
Well, here you have Pierce Brosnan, who obviously, you know, was here not that long ago, but it was wonderful to have him connect again at one of the iconic bombed sort of locations, namely Jamaica. Ian Fleming owned a beautiful villa down by Orica Besser, his name Goldeneye, and he had fallen in love with Anne Rothermere, the wife of Lord Rothermere, who had married Lord Rothermere because he wasn't coming up to scrap. So eventually he proposed and she divorced Lord Rothermere, and there is Vere Rothermere and Lady Rothermere, sort of the offsprings of the first Lord Rothermere, who are still sort of hosting a party at Round Hill. So,
and Ian Fleming loved this place.
Ian Fleming loved Jamaica. I mean, he wrote most of his James Bond novels in Jamaica, and he has basically lived most of his life actually writing in Jamaica and had fallen in love with it. There you have another iconic pair here, that's Kitty Carlisle and Moss Hart, her husband, the big Broadway producers, again the leaders of society, and on Broadway in the 1950s and 60s. And
this looks like you.
That's me with John Pringle in the early 2000s. We were at a ball at Round Hill, and there's John Pringle again, our founder, with the Delia Astaire, Fred Astaire's sister, who was one of our first owners of Cottage 25. She was an iconic hostess. Everybody loved Deli. And so these are the Duprés, the founders of the Ritz Hotel right here. There's Round Hill in the 1950s, just, you know, where life was on the beach. And you also, in those days, you sat mostly on the sand. Believe it or not, you had an umbrella, but you sat on the sand. There is Bill Paley, the founder of CBS Television and CBS Radio, who with his beautiful wife, Babe, owned Cottage 26 at Round Hill and was one of the first owners here.
And very popular now because of the television show. There's this iconic photograph of her like in a caftan standing outside by the pool.
Exactly, and that's Cottage 26. And they also have pictures with Truman Capote because, you know.
They came here.
Absolutely. That was one of the, it's also in this latest movie that's being produced right now. But there, Bill is explaining to Richard or Dickie Avedon, the famous photographer, how the Hasselblad camera works. I mean, I thought this was just so interesting.
That's a great photo. This is iconic.
And that's Ralph and Ricky again at their beautiful house, High Rock. And there you have the Grace Kelly on the buffet line in the 1950s.
Look at her. I want to know what she's getting. Something.
But they used to have these enormous buffets that you could, I mean, somebody said to me once, you know, Joseph, these buffets were so long you could land a 747 on it.
Okay, I see another very handsome shot of you with a very beautiful actress.
Yes, and she was incredibly sweet. Her husband could not be here, but she was here with the children. He was actually working. It was just before
Penelope Cruz. He's burying the lead here. Okay, and there's one photograph I don't see on the wall, but I have seen it before. John F. Kennedy would come here.
Yes, we have a beautiful picture of him in shorts on the beach. He was actually here when he was a senator. He stayed here many, many years. His half-brother kind of was a guest of the Amory's, who owned a villa here as well. So he came often. He also spent the first Christmas after his election success in November with us, and actually in Cottage 25, Adela Stairs Cottage, and he wrote a little bit of his speech there, you know, that famous speech, don't ask what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And we actually have that as a little memento in Cottage 25. And unfortunately, as you know, in 1962, right after, you know, he was killed.
Well, that's what's so incredible about this place is not only is it beautiful, but it's steeped in so much history.
Yes, and that is always interesting because it continues. It never
Sure.
stops. And we always have welcomed interesting people, not because there are not many other beautiful places to come to, but when they come to Round Hill, they can feel totally comfortable, totally relaxed. Nobody really sort of intrudes on their privacy, and they become a family, and gives them that kind of assurance that whatever happens at Round Hill
Stays at Round Hill. Ha! All right, what are we having here, Josef?
This is a freshly made pineapple juice for you and a lemonade for me.
Very refreshing on this hot day. Josef, this hotel was started in the 1950s and for so many years has felt like a home away from home for all of its guests. How have you been able to continue that tradition for so long?
It's our staff, it's our people. It's something that we are very, very proud of because they have built the place. Their grandparents worked with John Pringle to make it into this iconic place. Their parents worked here, now they work here, their children will work here. And our community, Hopewell, is very much part of this whole development. And we are proud of that, and so are they. They have this space to develop their skill. We train them, but then they have enough space to develop their individuality and then be honest about and be sincere about their hospitality. And so therefore many of our guests fall in love with that, and then that brings them back year after year. We have a very high rate of return guests, and we call them PGs or past guests, and we celebrate them.
You do such a wonderful job of creating a sense of warmth and family, and I think it also has to do a bit with the coziness of the size of this resort. You don't feel far from anything, so you've got a wonderfully sort of small hotel, but then also the decor and the way it's been designed, you feel like you are in a private home and not in a hotel.
Well, that was always the intention. I mean, when John Pringle purchased that 110-acre peninsula, he never intended to develop all 110 acres. He literally just wanted a small portion of it to be developed as his resort with hotel rooms and villas around the public areas of the beach and the lobby and the dining terrace and the cocktail bar and the dining rooms and around the Bay of Round Hill, always in close connection with the water, and leave everything else open, and that becomes your space, that becomes that beautiful sort of surrounding space that provides you with that sense of understatement, privacy, so that because many times guests pass by our gate and they don't know what they're passing by. I mean, they have no clue what's behind it, and Round Hill has always maintained that sort of unique sort of mystique almost, that we are very true to what we are. We are understated, but at the same time, we are the host to some of the most discerning guests.
And the warmth was felt immediately once we stepped foot on your property. We were greeted with a welcome home, and we felt it immediately. So bravo to you and to the whole staff
Thank
for
you very
making
much.
people
They all
feel
make
welcome.
me proud. I always say, I don't work here, I play here. Everybody, it makes it fun. I mean, it becomes a real joy to be here.
Well, so fun that you've been here for how long now?
I've been here now over 34 years, I've aged at Round Hill.
Well, I guess you're not leaving anytime soon either.
No.
Well, thank you, Josef, so much for this wonderful tour.
Thank you.
And
thank
cheers.
You. And welcome. Thank you.
To the
Great to have you
pineapple.
with us.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.